Let's introduce another formula. The area of a triangle. Okay? The area of a triangle is calculated by this formula here. Base times height divided by 2. Base times height divided by 2. That's the formula to work out the area of a triangle. Okay? Why do we do that? Why do we do that? What's the divide by 2 part of it? Well, it's because a triangle is half of a square or a rectangle. No matter what shape it is, it's half of a square or a rectangle. So that's why the divide by 2 bit comes in. Because base times height really is length times height. That's all it is. But then you divide it by 2 because that's half of a square or a triangle. So in this instance here, what we've got the base, which is 5, times by the height, which is 8. Be aware, be very, very careful here. The height of a triangle is not the slope. It's the tip to the base, or the base to the tip. It is not the slope. Be careful. Some exam questions, some questions on functional skills will give you a measurement here. Ignore it. That's the measurement you need. Okay? So in this instance, base 5 times height 8, 5 eighths of 40, divided by 2, 20. Okay? 20 square centimetres. That makes sense. Okay, let's test you out. Here is a plan for a new playground area. The developer has told the residents that it will only take up 200 square metres of the existing playing field. Is he correct? Is he correct? There's the plan, there's the measurements, there's the formula. Let's have an answer. Base times height divided by 2. Calculator, obviously. Got an answer? Anybody got an answer? Okay, I've got an answer there. Talk me through it. How am I doing it? What am I doing? What's my first number?
The base.
Which is?
22.5.
22.5. What am I going to multiply that by?
22.
Why not 24?
Because it's not the you said before, it's not the slope.
Because it's the slope, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. So 22.5 times 22. Then what am I going to do?
Divide by 2.
What's the answer?
247.5.
So is the developer correct?
No.
Well, he's wrong. 22.5 the base times by the height divided by 2, 247.5 square metres. So no, he's wrong. It's going to take more than 200 square metres. Yeah. So far, so good. Ready for another one? The area below is the plan of a section of John's garden. John wants to put grass seed down on the area. He sees this grass seed for sale online. He thinks that if he orders 6 bags of seed, he will have enough. Is John correct? 20 kilogram covers 12 square metres and costs £56.75. Is John correct? Is there a bit of a red herring in that question? Is there something in there we don't particularly need to know? We don't need to know how much it costs, do we? It's not asking you how much it costs. It's not asking you. Don't need it.
We're just working out bags, aren't we?
We need this bit. Yeah, we need how many bags is we need.
kilograms.
Yeah.
Again,
Do we not need that?
do we not need? No, we
That's what
don't.
I'm thinking. We don't
Yeah.
need it, we just need
We
12
don't
metres.
need it.
actually, don't we?
12 metres.
Yeah.
Well spotted, well spotted. Yeah, that's all we need. So, does he need 6 bags or does he need more than 6
He needs
bags?
more.
He needs more.
Needs
Oh,
more.
sure.
Yeah.
Alright, let's work it out. What do we do first? 22 times 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Divide by 2.
Said he needs 8 bags
Yeah.
there. So we do 22 divided by 8. Sorry, 22 times by 8, which is 176. Divide by 2 gives you 88 square metres. Divide it by 12. 7.3 bags. You can't buy 0.3 bags. So he's got to buy 8 bags. So no, John's not going to have enough. Yeah? He'll have a little bit of garden with no grass on. Okay? A little bit of garden with no grass on. That's fairly easy, isn't it? Triangles. Just remembering that formula, base times height divided by 2. Just remembering the formula. And again, picking out the bits of information you need in the question. We identified we didn't need that, it's just the size of the bag. We identified it didn't need that because it didn't ask us how much it was going to cost. It could have done, could have said how much it would cost him, but it didn't. So that's the triangle. So now we know how to work out the area of a rectangle, a square, and a triangle. The only other shape we need to know now is this, the circle. Okay? The area of a circle is calculated by this formula. It's our old friend pi, radius squared. And we're back to big mass because in this gap here is your little times sign. Pi times the radius squared. That little 2, I mean it's a big 2 there because I'm emphasising it, but that little number 2 means radius multiplied by itself. Not times by 2, but by itself. Okay? So in this instance, the radius squared would be 18 times 18, not 18 times 2. 18 times 2 will give you the diameter. It's 18 times 18. That's what that means. Yeah? So just to give you that as an example, 3.14 times 18 times 18. People think you have to do it as the big mass and you have to do this bit first. 18 times 18. Yeah, you can do. You can do. Or you can just do the sum like that. It still works, you get the same answer. Okay, you get the same answer. So it's up to you, you decide to do it. Personally, I write it out like that. And I just do. Yeah, that's what I do. Okay, that's fairly straightforward. Just got to remember that phrase. And you've just got to remember that that means the radius multiplied by itself, not by 2. Here's a little question. This is Tom, lives next door to John and Jane. Tom has a circle lawn with a diameter of 8 metres. He wants to replace the grass with artificial turf. He estimates that he would need to buy 40 square metres of artificial turf. Is he correct? Is he correct? Put it in the form.
We'll say no.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, no, it needs more.
You thinking no?
No.
I'm thinking you sure? You're positive?
Needs more.
Well, shall we work it out? So there's our formula. Looking at that question, what's in there that we need to be very much aware of?
The diameter.
Yes. That question has told us the diameter. quite popular this in these kind of questions. The person that set the question knows that we need the radius. So to try to make us think a little bit more, they've put the diameter in the question to try to, ooh, we've got to recognise we don't need the diameter, we need the radius. So what's our formula going to be then? It's going to be 3.14 times by 4 times 4. Yeah? Which is 50.24 square metres. So no, it's not correct. He needs to buy some more. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Important to remember these things, these tiny little things. Yeah, these tiny little things. Let's have a look at another one. Lee has a circular stage. He wants to replace the worn surface with some new carpet. He will not replace the surface of the step. He will round up the area to the nearest full metre. The carpet costs £142 per metre squared. How much will it cost for Lee to replace the carpet for on that circular stage? Okay, very similar question to what we've just had. Have we got an answer? Checking the answer yourself. You had the right number in your calculator.
Yeah.
That number's the right number. That's the number. Yeah. So you're up to here. This is where you're up to now. They will round up the area to the nearest full metre. Obviously, you've got to go higher because if you go lower, there's not going to be enough carpet. Yeah. And then whatever you get then as your answer, just times it by this number here.
Is it expensive?
Very expensive. Very expensive.
These people are really expensive.
Aren't they just? Aren't they just?
We've just gone and buy a new trampoline last
It's not a trampoline, it's a stage.
Sorry, stage.
It looks like a trampoline.
You could buy a new.
£9,088. Wow! 3.14 times 4.5 times 4.5, because that's the radius, it's half of the diameter. Look what this ton, it's towards the diameter. Equals 63.58. I saw that in a calculator there. I knew somebody got it right. Round it up to 64 square metres, and then it's that times by 64, which is your £9,088. Wow, expensive carpet. Yeah. It doesn't look 9 metres that stage, does it? It looks tiny.
Yeah.
It looks tiny. So now we've learned how to work out the area of a rectangle, how to work out the area of a square. Length times width or length times height. We know how to work out the area of a triangle, base times height divided by 2. We now need to know how to work out the area of a circle, pi times the radius squared. You know what's coming next. Composite shapes. Shapes like this, okay? Really, really popular in the exam. Really popular. And again, this is the skill. You've got to be able to recognise what these shapes are made up of, because it's going to take you now more than one calculation, more than one formula to work out these kind of areas. Okay, there's no measurements on these, they're just pure and simple shapes, just for me to show you the kind of shapes that are very popular in the exam. Okay, so we've got this shape here. That could be the end of a house. Yeah, the gable end of an house. Could even be the front of a house. Yeah. We're made up of two shapes. This is what you've got to recognise. We're made up of a square and a triangle. So to work out the area of that, we do length times width, base times height divided by 2, and then add them together. What's this shape? We get ourselves our imaginary